You guys really thought I was done. You guys really thought I was done calling out Overwatch community and holding them accountable for their bullshit. I am far from done. I have a lot of shit that could literally go out to a point where people would understand where I'm coming from, and people would get to the point where, hey, maybe this guy is actually pointing out some shit. I think some people actually left comments to a point where they tried to insult because they don't like the fact that I'm calling out the community for its toxic, ignorant bullshit, because this is literally the dumbest gaming community ever created. Way dumber than League of Legends, way dumber than Call of Duty, way dumber than even fucking goddamn Dota and Counter-Strike. And as a person who's played all of those games, I can tell you straightforward, this community is literally one of the most ignorant, selfish, stubborn, toxic communities I have ever been part of. And people don't hold those players accountable. That shit's gonna change today, motherfuckers. And now with this, I want to go ahead and start off by saying this. I got some of your comments, and you know, some of them of course got deleted because of your blatant ignorance and your stupidity, because guess what, stupidity is not a right. Some of them went through and they had awesome points to it. For those who were accepted and the comments went through, thank you for making your points. I understand where your points come from. I understand how your points came from, and it's really awesome that you guys make those points and try to, like, you know, try to give me like explanation on those things. Those are very nice. I appreciate that 100%. But now we're gonna ruffle even more feathers up to a point where you guys are literally just gonna be featherless chickens. So I would say, yeah, featherless chickens. So let's go ahead and start off with the 5 worst type of Overwatch player in the game. Let's get started. The fact that you guys find Smurfs acceptable in this game is absolutely ignorant. It's really weird to me how someone can have like 5 or 6 Smurf accounts, which automatically, in my opinion, makes you a fucking loser. How do you go ahead and make another account, go into the lower ranks, and fuck it up for lower ranks? You could literally go to a point where you're like, oh, you know, I'm not taking this seriously, this is my Smurf account, and then you fuck it up for the whole team who is trying to rank up properly. And this is why, in any type of situation, if you have a Smurf account, and I know that you have a Smurf account, because some of you dumb fucking idiots actually state that you are playing on your Smurf, then guess what? You are automatically reported. There is no fucking reason of why you need to have a freaking Smurf account. Oh, but my friends are in lower ranks. I want to play with my friends and competitive. Sorry and not sorry. That's not gonna fucking happen. Play with them in quick play. Guess what? Some of your friends are probably not as good as you, or guess what? Some of your friends probably are way better than you, and then you'll probably go ahead and lead them back in fucking competitive. That's not a reason for you to go ahead and fuck up competitive for other players just because you want to play with your dumb shit friends. Especially where you're just making like 5 or 6 accounts where your main is like probably like top 500 or GM, because apparently everyone in the grandmother is a top 500 in GM, and you want to go all the way to plat and be upset when you don't get the actual skill that you're looking for when you're in a higher skill. Like, do you not notice that, how stupid that is? That's like going ahead, being in a class where you're taking calculus, and then you take let's say algebra 2 on the side. Go ahead, go through algebra 2, and then you have to sit through the class and hear all these answers that are wrong, and then you're wondering, oh man, why are these fucking guys not on my level when it comes to math? Like, what? That's the most ignorant shit. And trust me, do not have that. I'm giving this as a warning. Do not let me catch you with a Smurf account. I promise you, it will not be good for you and you will be reported on the spot. You motherfuckers actually thought I was never gonna come after you, huh? The problem with one tricks is because not the fact that you guys don't have skill, because I've seen amazing one tricks actually play amazingly. It's your mentality. I don't understand why the fuck you are one tricking on a Smurf account, because Smurf accounts are also, you know, guilty of this, or in any type of situation where this game is initially rock, paper, scissors. It's fucking weird to me that people have to be told that this game is rock, paper, scissors. Oh, but you can go ahead and beat other people with such great skill. Wrong. I'm gonna tell you why. Because of the simple fact that if you're one tricking on an account and you're on a team-based game, and when you get heavily countered and then you expect others to switch because of the fact that you can't switch, it's fucking ignorant. It's the fact that, oh, if you're playing freaking, let's say, Diva, and then you're getting countered by a Zarya or a freaking Sim, then guess what? You expect someone to be like, oh, why don't you guys switch? Well, I don't want to switch. I'm one tricking. Like, no, you have to fucking switch. Obviously, if you're getting heavily countered or heavily targeted and being a one trick, then you're gonna have to switch. People, especially if you're one tricking, ask the question of why they need to switch. Is because you're being heavily targeted and heavily countered. That's a main issue. If you one trick, then you're initially one of the most ignorant motherfuckers in this goddamn game. This game is not beneficial where you're one tricking and trying to go ahead and get better at one character. Initially, what you need to do is actually grab one or two characters from each role and try to get better at those characters. Why? Once again, this game is rock, paper, fucking scissors. I don't understand why I have to explain that to the community if that game is, like, if the game in general is built like that, built around counters. If Winston's a problem, you get Reaper or you get Roadhog, okay? If freaking characters like, you know, Pharah's a problem, then you get people like McCree, Hit Scans, or like Soldier, or let's say, for instance, if, let's say, another character is a problem, you know, one specific character that I constantly talk about, if he's an issue, then go ahead and get Moira, get Symmetra, or get Zarya. It's literally a problem where people have to go ahead and say, oh, I'm one tricking, and then they fuck up constantly, and guess what? When they throw the fucking game because of their one trick and get in trouble for that shit, they wonder why they're getting in trouble for it. This game is literally rock, paper, scissors. You cannot one trick in this fucking game unless you're really good. And the actual number of good one tricks is very, very fucking low. Now, for this topic, I can honestly say that I could put myself in this category because of the simple fact that when it comes to certain things like stupidity, I have a low tolerance for that. And it's not stupidity in the sense where, you know, you don't know what you're doing. It's stupidity in the sense where people act stupid on purpose. And as one of my favorite characters in this game, Moira, technically says, yeah. So here's my thing about, you know, certain players who are toxic. I have a whole entire series dedicated to, you know, calling out toxic players. Now, if you want to take a look at that series, by all means, it's in my channel and it's all on a playlist. Now, the issue with this is that the fact that when toxic players come in to a certain area, as I said, for me, I could call out someone for being bad at times. I will call out someone for being terrible at the game, so I could put myself in this area. But it goes to a major extent when people get on here with racial slurs, say very ignorant fucking things to a point where, you know, a kid could be playing and they would yell at the kids to try to, just for no fucking reason. Even to a major extent where a lot of players do things like, you know, throw a game or throw themselves off the freaking, I would say throw themselves off the level And just for a side note, if you are playing this game and you throw yourself off the actual level to prevent a kill from the opposite team, then you are throwing. That is initially throwing. You are doing something intentionally to throw the game. So yeah, that's also another part of toxicity. It majorly gets to a point where, you know, people try to do like the most ignorant of things to literally kill a player's fun time in this game. Now, I'm one for fun, I'm one for playing competitive, but I'm talking about, like, you know, in the toxic area where people throw games, get on mic and do ignorant stuff, typing Timmies, even get to a point where they just stay and spawn, and stuff like that is not needed. Stuff is like that is not a necessity or a major thing that is needed in this gaming community, where it makes this gaming community actually terrible. It makes games in general, besides Overwatch, terrible. Even another toxic mentality is, you know, cheating. We had people aimbotting, people who are doing like the wrong thing just for the fuck of it, for, you know, views, and it's just extremely ignorant to go to that point where, you know you have to be toxic like that. Now, my series for Overwatch Toxic is to call out toxic people. Another toxic trait, in my opinion, is that people go ahead and call you toxic for defending yourself or defending others from being toxic. I heard this a lot, which I should have put this in one of my other videos, that people said that, oh, if you are defending yourself or arguing back, you're just as toxic. No, that's just like saying if someone defends themselves from a bully, then they are just as bad as the bully. That is one of the most ignorant things I have ever saw. When you have those toxic mentalities, especially the way you play play in a toxic manner, or the way you think in a toxic manner, and you bring it into the gaming community, and you kind of fuck it up. Now, as I said, I'm not, I would say I'm not innocent when it comes to that, because I do yell at people for stupid shit, and I do try to tell people, hey, yo, we need a little bit more damage or a little bit more healing here. And with that, a lot of people get massively upset, especially if you're doing the most ignorance of shit and trying to fuck up a game on purpose, that I'm gonna fucking call you out or I'm gonna curse you out. So I could tell you honestly, I could put myself in this category, but for the right of reasons, because I actually call out toxic and ignorant fools that want to go ahead and fuck up the game for everyone else. I am so happy these LFG groups are gone. I'm so happy the LFG option is gone. Why am I going ahead trying to look for a group to group up with, to try to probably play competitive, or to possibly get a group to play on stream, and I see something about a political debate, I see something about, someone trying to go ahead and get money for their Cash App because their lazy ass fucking parents doesn't want to buy them a Happy Meal at fucking McDonald's? Or why am I seeing another chat or another group thing dedicated to looking for people to find like a group to play on Fortnite on Overwatch? I don't understand why people freaking do stupid shit like that, and it's exactly why the LFG area, especially the LFG option, so looking for group in Overwatch, has been taken out. Why in the fuck do you want to go ahead and get into a political debate on an LFG group in Overwatch? This isn't fucking TikTok, okay? We don't go ahead and go live just to go ahead and have a fucking debate on a situation that you possibly know nothing about or don't do anything about, especially if you're from another fucking country talking about the United States fucking issues and you don't do nothing for the United States, or if you're from the United States talking about another country's issues, blah blah blah. We are sick and tired of that shit. We don't want to hear that shit. We don't care about that shit. Alright, we don't care about that little situation. That's why I have like a video with someone doing that nonsensical BS, especially when they were doing things like boosting, and that's why people like OG Pure has videos of like, people doing the wrong thing, saying like, getting into political discussions where Overwatch LFG was not made for that, and that's why I'm fucking glad that it was gone. And because of that, because of the people's ignorance in this fucking community, that option has been taken out because you guys don't know how to fucking behave yourselves. You are at home, chilling, sitting on your gaming chair, most likely, sitting on your couch, most likely, sitting on your mattress, most likely, playing this game, and you choose to be fucking lazy. I don't understand the idea of why people choose to be lazy on a video game, but it's very weird to me that someone can be lazy when you are basically only just using your two thumbs and your two pointers to freaking play with the controller and just using your brain to whatever situation the game puts you in. Like, if you are in an actual FPS game, like a team-based game, like Overwatch, then you have no absolute fucking excuse or reason to be fucking lazy at a video game. It shows that in real life that you are a lazy fucking person. Now, a lot of people will hate that comment, so hear me out. Imagine you're putting your child in a Little League baseball game, right? You have the whole team. You have people out in the field. You have people who are either catching or even, you know, pitching, or even right there on the 3 bases. Oh, excuse me, 4 technically if you count the catcher. And you have your son sitting on the bench, not because the coach, you know, put him on the bench, because some people or even coaches can't make your son actually play, but you see your son on the fucking bench doing nothing, and then at the end of the game, the kids get trophies, including your son. Do you think that little piece of shit actually deserves the fucking trophy? Oh, that example is a little bit too far? Okay, fine. Let me give you one that stands in an adult example. Let's say you go into work. Everybody has a spot where they're working. Let's say you're working at, like, I would say at a restaurant. You have people in the front of the house, people in the back of the house. You have the host, you have the manager, you have the people who are doing the cashier for when people can go ahead and check out their, you know, their checks on their way out, or possibly waiters can go ahead and check out their, I would say their customers in the process of that. And then you have one person sitting in the employee room all day doing nothing, and then they still get the paycheck at the end of the week. That is lazy as fuck. That is the idea of where being lazy in a video game is absolutely ridiculous. If you have the mentality of being lazy in a video game, one of two things need to happen. One, you should stop playing video games altogether, or 2, you should not be playing games that require a fucking team to actually work together to actually complete an objective. But some of you are even lazy on one person, I would say one player type games, which is absolutely fucking horrendous. And if you are, then you are an absolute lazy person in general, and I would be surprised even if you have a job. If you have a job, then one, you don't deserve that job and you don't deserve a paycheck. Because in life, lazy people like that don't deserve jobs or don't deserve paychecks, where other people who are trying to look for a job, trying to get in a higher place in a job, would deserve that paycheck a lot more. Just like how people are trying to go ahead and rank up in Overwatch, and because of your lazy ass, the team tends to dwindle and fuck up and get screwed over because of the fact that you want to be lazy in a fucking team-based game. And because if one person's fucking up in the whole team, it could lead the whole team to suffer. And it would be suffering based off your fucking laziness. Now, I know a lot of people do not agree with these 5 choices, and that's absolutely fine. But there is one thing I wanted to state, because this is also things that are actually pointed out by the community itself, not just me. Trust me, it's other people in the community that has issues with it. There are people in the forums that have issues with it, and I'm stating them out because as a community of gamers, and as someone who loves this game, I do love this game. I love the way it's constructed. I love the characters. I love, you know, even be able to do a competitive scene. quick play scene. And with that, I want people to understand that I want this community to be known for the great game that it is, to be known for the great players that it is. But these type of topics and type of things that I'm talking about are exactly why people will not respect and things like this have to majorly change because of the fact that it does affect the community of the game. Actually throws people away from the game itself because of the simple fact that players do not understand how these attitudes about someone to stop playing the game, or have people not even want to go give Overwatch to. So this is what my opinion on is about, and you know what it's on, like on these topics. By all means, let me know what you guys feel about these topics. But I'm going to remind you that your comments are going to be held, I would say, to be allowed to be held up. And if I allowed them, then I will allow them. Some of them, especially where the comments have been toxic and really stupid on a major level, where I'm it as in feel like to say the most negative things and try to go ahead and hurt us, then guess what? I'm gonna hold that accountable to you. I'm gonna hold comment to you, and guess what? Your stupidity is not a right. If you want to comment something about whether you disagree with these or you disagree with this, fine. But if you make an insult or any type of comment, stupidity, I'm not gonna allow it. So please, before you even decide to comment, please watch what you say. But definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn your notifications for when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to go ahead and check out our merchandise and to support us on Patreon. But this is Nico from the EHG community. Stay tuned for another video. Remember that there's always something amazing on the horizon.